Where do our rights come from?
Yeah, Biden gave us our rights. Whitmer gave us a few rights, and every now and then you have, like a judge or two that give you a few extra rights. But I can't believe I said that with a straight face.
That's funny. Hey guys, how's it going? So I had fun today in Howell, Michigan, hanging out at the Let Freedom Ring rally. And I'd like to thank my friend Jane Locke for inviting me, and my friend Rachel Weaver with Guardians of Freedom Michigan. And for those of you that came out and hung out with me, who watched the channel, friends of mine, it was really fun seeing you guys and getting to meet some of you face to face. It was totally awesome, and thank you all for coming to hang out with me. It means a lot. So the former vice president, I've talked about this a couple times on my channel recently. He's come out and said, our rights that were endowed by our Creator, which that's what the Declaration of Independence says, and affirmed, meaning don't tread on me, in the Bill of Rights. He says they're not absolute, and that they're actually at his whim, and that he gets to decide which rights that we can enjoy, that he never gave us, and actually nobody from the government ever gave us. So there were some great speakers at the event, and I'm going to have more videos to come soon. But I had an interesting conversation with my friend Catherine Henry. She's a constitutional attorney with the Restore Freedom Initiative. So hang out with us here, and you're going to hear what a constitutional lawyer and I have to say about whether our rights are absolute and where they come from. And this applies to the Second Amendment, the whole Bill of Rights, and of course all of the many, many rights that are not enumerated, but we do enjoy and were given to us, endowed by our Creator, given by God, not the government. So hopefully you guys get some encouragement for this. And I know it's rough times right now, but just going to an event like I did today offered me a lot of encouragement. And I know a lot of you aren't in Michigan and couldn't come to this, but I encourage all of you. Look, get with some good people. There's a lot of patriots out there. Find the events in your area, and it will help uplift you and help us save this republic. Because we do have a republic, if we can keep it. How's it going, Catherine?
It's going.
The best we can, right?
Exactly. I'm breathing.
So I've been talking about this concept of our rights, and I wanted your opinion on it, because I really respect your opinion. And the former vice president just came on TV 2 days ago, and this was with the Second Amendment. He's encouraging red flag laws, all these gun bans.
Which former vice president?
The former vice president that was under Barack Obama, that one. He came on TV and he said
Did you mean the hair sniffer?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to take our guns, all these different ways, but the big premise of what he said is, he said, your rights are not absolute.
So you're wondering if our rights are absolute?
Yeah, let's start off with this. First of all, we have the Bill of Rights. We have the Declaration of Independence. Did those grant us our rights because the government did us a favor, or where did those rights actually come from that we have?
Yeah, Biden gave us our rights. Whitmer gave us a few rights, and every now and then you have, like a judge or two that give you a few extra rights. But I can't believe I said that with a straight face.
That's funny.
The rights to breathe fresh air without a mask, the right to be present on property, open to the general public, the right to be treated equally as others. All those things are examples of the rights that God gave us. And so you mentioned the Bill of Rights, and the Bill of Rights is a small sampling of our rights. The Constitution is actually full of areas where it's identifying even more of our rights outside of just those 10 amendments. But my favorite would probably be the Article 6, actually, that talks about it being a Republican form of, or no, that's Article 4. Section 4 is a Republican form of government. Article 6 saying that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and no government official or government agency or whatever can do something if it's going to violate the Constitution. But of course, one of the most important is in our U.S. Constitution, it's the 9th Amendment. Here in Michigan, it's Article 1, Section 23, unenumerated rights.
Yeah.
So the whole point in that is to say, and it literally says in our state constitution, in our U.S. Constitution, We have rights that are given to us by our Creator. We have rights that we're thankful to Almighty God, is the wording of our Michigan Constitution, for giving us these rights. So government didn't give the rights to us. God gave us all of those rights, and we keep rights that aren't even in the Constitution. There's only some that we have decided to list in the Constitution.
And I think that's the 9th Amendment that says that it's not to be construed that these are our only rights, right?
That's in Article 1, Section 23 of our state Constitution, absolutely.
Yes, and there's this concept. So if you look at the Second Amendment, right, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of
Article
the
1, Section 6 of our state Constitution.
Yep, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And
It's not optional.
That's a directive. It's a mandate. And the way I read that, not being a lawyer, because, well, you're a lawyer, but here's the thing. I don't think you need to be a lawyer to read this stuff. Like a third grader can understand it, right?
Every high schooler should be required to be tested on the Constitution before they get their diploma, because certainly no government official that I regularly get to work with has ever even read the Constitution, but they're sworn to uphold it. So yeah, no, it doesn't take an attorney or a judge to tell you what's in the Constitution, because most of them don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of us that don't have a college degree at all in many cases know more about it than a lot of lawyers I've read.
You know what's funny? I actually said 3 days ago to my husband that I'm going to, once we settle down a little bit in life, we're going to start this TV show where it's my husband, a machinist who never went to college, ever, certainly not law school, where he will go up against any judge or any attorney and be, answering questions about the law or the Constitution. And I guarantee you that my husband, a machinist who never went to college a day in his life, would know far more about the Constitution or most laws on the books in Michigan than pretty much any attorney or judge here in the state. So anyway, I just thought
that's
find
interesting.
That funny.
Yeah, I think I would know the result. But real quick, let's go back. Let's just say the Second Amendment, and this applies to all of them. It doesn't say in there that the federal government of the United States of America grants you the right to keep and bear arms. No, it just says the right to keep and bear. So the way I read that is they were acknowledging that was already there, and they just put it there as a prohibition that the government could not tread on that right.
Well, and specifically, we need to look at the U.S. Constitution's preamble, our state constitution's preamble, and the Declaration of Independence, because it spells out we create government for the sole purpose of protecting our God-given liberties.
Yes.
So that if we ever have a dispute, for example, I'm also a mediator, and I've been a mediator longer than I've been an attorney. The whole point is that at some point we might need government to essentially come in and mediate, or to facilitate a resolution where if you and I both think we own the same car, but we're not married, one of us has to own the car, then we have to have a system that's fair and reasonable and available to all to help sort that issue out for us.
Yes, and I'll add to that, because here's how I look at it. I always tell people I believe in rule of law, but the law is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, I would also say the Ten Commandments, and those are the laws that we have. But the government's become so perverted now. A lot of people say we shouldn't have any government. And if you look to the Federalist Papers, I believe it was Madison or Hamilton, because some of them they co-wrote, he said if men were angels, we wouldn't need government at all. But since men are not angels, we are going to need a government.
Yes.
Do you agree? So you agree, right, that we do need a government as long as they're strictly bound by the founding documents?
And that they understand that government has no rights in and of itself, has zero property rights, it has zero rights to literally do anything. It has zero rights inherent with itself. Government's sole authority is derived from the people. We, the people, created the U.S. Constitution. We, the people, created our state constitution. Article 1, Section 1 of our state constitution, all political power is inherent in the people. We forget that. So government, we don't start from a position that government gets to just do whatever it wants and we have to just believe it and follow it and do, whatever government wants. And that we have to prove we have a certain right. And even when we do have a right, then you have certain ex-vice presidents who think they won recent elections that then try to say, well, even so, you don't get to have that right all the time.
And that's what he's
No.
saying now.
Our right to keep and bear arms is not the problem. If somebody goes out there and intentionally commits murder, that's a criminal. That's the problem. That person should not be able to do that. But that's where our government then steps in and prosecutes the case, and there's an issue. But simply existing and then having a weapon to defend yourself, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, but a right given to us by God, that's not something that they can just take away. No constitutional provision is set aside for even at times of emergency. We've heard our governor here in Michigan talk about many times, oh, well, your rights during an emergency or during a pandemic. Our rights during a pandemic are the same as during war, as during a famine. Our rights are given to us by God, not the government. So no circumstance of the government or social circumstance can ever limit or take away any of those rights.
And I would say especially during these times, because the way I read the Declaration of Independence, this was them outlining why, they had tried to do grievances to the king, that didn't work. And they were basically throwing off a tyrannical government. And they knew that they were coming for their guns, and that's kind of what started Lexington and Concord Bridge, right? So I would think that the Founding Fathers would definitely want us to keep our Second Amendment God-given rights in these times more than ever. What do you think?
Yeah, really, argument has certainly been made that the Second Amendment is one of the most important because it's there to secure all the other amendments, and there's some valid arguments to that. I think truly they're all important, though.
Yes.
But if you don't have the ability to physically protect yourself, what was it I was reading recently? It was a United States Supreme Court case where they're essentially acknowledging that the government always has the power to go in and do whatever they want to because they have the physical power. They have the power of the military. They have the power of the FBI. They have the physical, strong arm to force the people to do whatever they want. But the government only has authority that the people give them. So we need to make sure that the people can exercise their inherent authority, our inherent authority, which includes holding the government in check, keeping them at bay. Because it's also been said by several U.S. and Michigan Supreme Court cases that the whole point of the Constitution, like I said, is to protect our blessings of liberty, but that the Constitution is also meant to define and limit the powers of government, to make sure that the government knows its place. Yes. It's never been said that the Constitution is there to define what rights the people have. No, it's to protect our rights and to define and limit the powers of government.
Yes, and that's what the Declaration says, that they could govern at the consent of the governed.
Exactly.
And that would be us.
That's us.
And we're technically their boss, and I know it's hard to look at it that way now, but they really do work for us, right?
Yes, every single government official, every single government employee works for we the people.
Yes, and I like to look at these people as public servants. They're supposed to be serving their city, county, state, or country, right?
Absolutely.
And it's supposed to be a blessing, and in my opinion, they should go in there, serve, give it their all, and then just go home and move on and let somebody else come in. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, 100%.
And then we wouldn't have this former vice president that's been in office for 60 years, and Nancy Pelosi, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's definitely done a lot of things for 60 years, because isn't she like 183?
At least. Depends how much she drank.
Weekend
that
at
day.
Bernie's is all I think when I see the two of them, but
Yeah, so to sum it up, the former vice president said, our rights are not absolute, they're whatever he wants them to be, and I thoroughly reject that.
So does the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Michigan.
Alright. Well, nice seeing you. And
yeah.
I want to have you on my stream soon again.
Oh, absolutely. Very soon.
Right.
Hopefully not like at 1 in the morning, like sometimes we tend to.
9:30 Friday. This former vice president, in my opinion, he's a bully. And he's trying to make you scared, and he's trying to make you discouraged, and he's trying to make you think that he's going to decide which rights you have. But I'm here for nothing else than to encourage you and offer support and just remind you guys, look, this is our country. These people work for us. These are our rights. They weren't given to you by any man, woman. These rights have always belonged to you and always will. And it's up to you to preserve these rights and liberties that were endowed to you. And you're going to be able to keep them as long as you're willing to exercise them. So with that, I offer encouragement to you all. And I thank all of you for all of the encouragement that you offer me, because I need you guys and we all need each other. Alright, thanks for watching and have a good one.